Definitely, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I will say this about Kelly. Kelly, from 89 to 92, those were his four above average seasons. Probably 90 and 91 were when he was at his peak, and he was still pretty good in 92. But everything else is very average. He wasn't like had explosive stats. He was a winner. There's no doubt about that. But I think in the high teens, low 20s range is perfect for him.
Okay.
Okay,
Because
no, I can accept that.
we'll get in a lot of trouble since we're talking quarterbacks. Packers people out there want to know where and why you have Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers is I have him at 13 overall all time. Yeah, he's oh my God, I was just studying the game against the Cardinals with the two Hail Marys. Oh God, that's so sensational. His 2010 run to the Super Bowl was pretty good. He had the game against Atlanta in particular was very good. The Super Bowl he was really good. I thought 2011 he was outstanding until the playoffs. He was terrible in that Giants game. Then a couple of years, 2012, 2013, he was pretty good. He had some injuries in 2013. Maybe his coaching didn't help him, maybe his defense didn't help him, but just I think what has him lower than some of the other guys like Brett Favre, like Bart Starr, like Steve Young. The reason he's going to be lower than some of those guys is they had the really good numbers and they also had a much higher winning percentage in the clutch. So that's why he's a little lower. But I mean, jeepers creepers, he's still got a career. He could still move up, obviously.
I think that's the one thing.
Hopefully we can get another ring or two.
Right. People need to remember when we're having debates with guys like yourself and he's not ranked as high as Packer people think he should be out there, it's because a lot of those guys ahead of him have complete careers already. And like you just said, this is where he is now. And we don't know in 4, 5, 6, whenever he ends, where he's going to move up because we don't know what's going to happen with this new offense. So I like where you got him there. And I really am starting to, outside of how I judge him based on just athletic talent-wise, I guess, when it gets to the GOAT, there's a hard to argue with the way you got these guys ranked here. I mean, it's you got it pretty zipped up, locked tight there, man. It's hard to argue with it. Hard to poke holes in that. It's hard to debate it.
So there's a couple. I mean, there's a couple of guys that he could pass. I definitely think so. I think where he's going to have trouble passing people, like I don't think he'll ever pass Peyton Manning, for example. Just Manning's numbers are so good, and he was so, such a tactician on the field. And, Manning, Rodgers could be another Manning. Rodgers could be one of these guys that plays a long time at an exceptional level, but, just doesn't have the championships like some of the other guys, like Montana or Brady. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll get another championship. It's going to be tough. I think that 5 of the best 6 teams in the NFL are in the NFC this year.
Yeah, the NFC is
better. Yeah, the NFC looks very deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of quarterbacks now, I've noticed you've been doing other rankings. So, I mean, where are you at now on your rankings? I see you've done, I think, you're doing linebackers right now? Is that what's going on? Top 50 linebackers?
We're doing top 50s. We did quarterback, we did running back, wide receiver, offensive line, tight end. Then we did defensive tackles, defensive line, inside linebacker, outside linebacker. Now we're at cornerback. We just started that last night.
You've been a busy guy, man. Do you ever sleep? Like, when do you sleep? Like,
no.
I mean, I hardly sleep, but I can't imagine with all the stuff you've got. Are you like plugged in offline while you sleep, downloading information? Like, like Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I fall asleep to a football game every night.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me at all. It just doesn't.
Every night I have a football game on in the background, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it'll be over, and then I'll have to try and go back to where I was.
That image isn't hard to sell me at all.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. Absolute truth, and before we did the 54 greatest postseason games, we were doing 43. I think we did 43 World Series in 43 days, and so baseball's a lot harder to do a series every day because there's 7-game series, so that's a lot of learning you got to do in one night.
It doesn't seem
so
like it.
I have a question for you. So how do you feel about the owners trying to proposition a 18-game schedule instead of having 4 preseason games and only having 2?
Yeah, jeepers, it's tough for me because I'm such a traditionalist to begin with. Any change in any of the 4 major sports, it's always like irks me a little bit, because I'm always one of those guys like, let's go back to how it was. The one change I love is I'm happy we have the 2-point conversion, because before '94 we didn't have that, so I love having the 2-point conversion. But most changes I don't like, and I like a 16-game season. I think that there's going to be a lot of I think there would be some records that would be, we'd lose a record and they'd be like, well, he had 18 games. We'll have to say that. Well, that's the record in the 18-game season, and that's the record in the 16-game season. And I think these guys, they take a beating, don't they? I mean, by the end of last season, the Rams and the Saints in that championship game, they both looked tired in that game. They both looked gassed, and I thought the quality of that football game was substantially lower than their mid-season game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much. But I thought, these were the 2 best teams in the NFC, and they were kind of slow and misfiring, and it wasn't I'm not saying it wasn't an exciting game. I just didn't think it was a very well played game. And then by the time it got to the Super Bowl, the Rams were cooked.
Yeah, do you really believe, though, with this whole thing that they're really proposing with the 18 games but 16-game limit per player? That to me there spells a total BS. They know, they're smart enough people to know nobody's going to sign off on that, but they're pushing this out there because it's just a tactic to me, because the players, like you just said, they don't want 18 games, and I guess when I look at it, like, if you're going to actually propose something and you're really legitimate about it, your proposal isn't whack like the one they threw out there now. Because I'm sorry, just common sense wise, you can't have games where Aaron Rodgers is healthy and can't play. That just, like, for fans and everything, that's like that's a dumb business move.
Sell their tickets.
I
just don't buy this at all, Brandon. I think it's just
Now this is what I would propose. I would have 2 preseason games. I'd have a 16-game regular season, and I'd give each team 3 byes, and I'd get rid of Thursday night games.
And
that's
do you expand
I like
the
that
playoffs?
idea. I'm not a big fan of Thursday night games.
I think they got to protect their athletes. So I think if you give these okay, TV wants more games. Well, let's spread them out. Let's have instead of a 12-game Sunday, let's have a 9 or 10-game Sunday and give more teams off, every few weeks. So maybe
essentially giving you more prime time quality games, fewer,
yes,
but giving you better quality because teams are healthier, gives them chance. You know
yes.
what? That's a pretty intelligent damn idea. You're a hard guy to just debate with. It's like
instead of a Thursday game,
it's just a proposal.
Instead of a Thursday game, would you want to bump that to Saturday? So then that way you at least keep it one day from Sunday. So you can do a Saturday night primetime game.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do that. That sounds okay.
Because they do that with the playoffs. They split them up and they have 2 games, so essentially for like the divisionals on Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, here's a trivia question for you guys. What was the first ever nighttime playoff game in NFL history? The first time where they started
a playoff game.
Where they started a game at night. First playoff game. The kickoff is in the evening hours.
I'm gonna go with was it the Chargers game where Kel Winslow was getting carried off?
No, that was a 4:00 Eastern kickoff.
Okay.
Good guess, though.
I'm gonna say
good one. Good guess.
I'm gonna say sometime where it was, I don't know, a Redskins game in the late 70s.
Get it out of here! You have no idea.
I have no idea, man.
I appreciate the late 70s business though, because 1978 was the first time where we went to 5 playoff teams, because before then it was 4 playoff teams per conference. So in 78, they expanded the season to 16 games, and then they had 5 playoff teams in each conference. Then in 1990, they started with the 6-team wild card, or 6-team per conference, and they'd have 2 Saturday wild card games and 2 Sunday wild card games as it is now. So that was established in 1990. But from 1990 to the year 2000, the Saturday wild card games were 12:30 and 4 o'clock, and they were double headers on ABC. So you'd always get the ABC announcer, which was Al Michaels, of course, but you'd always wonder who was going to do the other ABC game on Saturday. And if you look it up, it was Brent Musburger or Mike Patrick were the 2 announcers back then. So then they had the brilliant idea, starting in 2001, they were going to start the Saturday games at 4:30 and 8 Eastern time. And the 4:30 game that day was the Eagles winning in Soldier Field against Chicago. I believe it was 33-19. It was a Donovan McNabb team. And Dick Duran was coach of the year. He was the coach of the Bears that year. They were 13-3, and but the Eagles went in there and beat them. This is 2001. So then the 8 o'clock game in 2001, in the divisional round of the playoffs, was, do you know who it was?
No clue.
I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to Jay.
It was the Patriots and the Raiders in a little game that ended with in a snowstorm and the tuck rule.
Oh, the tuck game with Brady. Okay, yeah.
That was the first ever night playoff game in NFL history. First game to start with an 8 o'clock kickoff.
Wow, I was way off, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got a minute and a half left, and I just want to make this comment. If you guys got any cool stuff, you got a man cave out there, you're in need of some cool autograph stuff, you always wanted that Team Grill set,
it's worth it.
You need to go to the Raz Addiction on Facebook.com and play their version of the raffle to win cool prizes. That's NFL Raz Addiction on Facebook.com for all your raffle needs. That's where you want to go, guys. And we have a minute left. Brandon, just tell everybody real quick again how to get a hold of you on social media. And, we appreciate you coming on, man. It is always great to have you as a guest.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, my name is Brandon.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Camilleri. It's Italian. And my Twitter handle is @spot_Bills for the Buffalo Bills. And if you're interested in football history, it's a cool follow. If you don't like football history, then you probably don't want to follow me.
If you don't like anything historical-wise, sports-wise, there's something wrong with you. If you don't like you as a follow, there's something wrong with you.
Your listeners.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, that being said, folks, follow
He's
the
a damn good follow, folks.
We love
He's amazing.
you guys
thank
all.
You.
Thank you very much. We'll see you guys on Thursday night.
You guys are the best.
Thanks again.